All right, so tomorrow we have our quiz. Okay, quiz number 15. Remember, I already dropped a quiz. I already dropped a homework from last week. So the next one's going to be dropped in, well, after tomorrow, 3 weeks after tomorrow. That's going to be our next drop. By the way, it is confirmed seniors do not have to take a final. Okay? So you're going to take your final quiz May something, near the end of May. And then once you take that final quiz, that'll be it for you guys. Okay? It doesn't mean you get to not come to class. You still have to come. You still have to participate in the work, but you don't have to worry about taking a final exam. Okay? So yeah, that's one less stress for you guys. All right, so here we go. Formulas you guys must know. So the one that tells you which term, right? So we can call this the term finder if you want. That would be a sub n equal to a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. Okay, remember that a sub 1, this is your first term. The d value, this is your common difference. And n, this is the term you want. Alright? So if you're trying to find the 25th term, the 10th term, you're probably going to use this formula. Okay? Now, anytime they say evaluate or find the sum of or find S sub n or something like that, you're going to use the sum formula. Now, the sum formula looks like this. So S sub n equals to n over 2 and, times a sub 1 plus a sub n. Now remember, S sub n is the sum of the first n terms. So if you wrote like S sub 5, you're looking for the sum of 5 terms. If you wrote S sub 7, you're looking for the first 7 terms added together. Okay? So the definitions in green still apply to the stuff over there on the right side. But those are the two formulas that you have to know how to use. If you can use those, you'll be fine during the test. Okay, no problem. Well, assuming your calculations are okay. I mean, if you don't make a mistake on your calculator or something like that, you should be okay. So here we go. So we're going to evaluate the arithmetic series. In other words, find the sum. So I'm going to write this down. S sub n is equal to n over 2 a sub 1 plus a sub n. Okay? So I got to find that value, the sum of that. Now, do I know my n value? If I look at part A, do they tell me my n value?
Yes.
Yeah, what is it? 10. So I'm going to write S sub 10 equals 10 over 2. Do I know a sub 1?
Yep.
Yeah, what is that? 15. But do I know a sub 10? No, I don't. So that means I got to figure out that term. I'm going to basically find that term. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to move this over to the side. So to find that term, I'm going to use my term finder equation, right? So remember, my term finder equation is a sub n equal to a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. Okay, so I want a sub 10. Well, a sub 10 is equal to a sub 1, which is 15, plus d. What's the d value? 15 to 24, 24 to 33, 33 to 42. Yeah, it's 9. D is 9, and n is 10 minus 1. So that's 15 plus 9 times 9. That's 15 plus 81. So that comes out to 96. There's a sub 10. So I'm going to plug that in back into my red equation right there where it says a sub 10. So this is 10 over 2, let's just write 5. 15 plus 96. So what is that, 111? And 5 times 111, well, that should be easy, it's 555. So 5, 5, 5. Now just as a way for you guys to see how we moved within the problem, there it is, okay? Remember what I told you guys. Your quiz is going to be full of these types of problems, okay? So it's only 12 questions, but it's going to take a while because you got to do a lot of little work. So you got to just go through, practice it. But most of your quiz is this. And then there's some other little things here and there, but most of it is doing this process. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I gave you 2 of these examples to do. So right now here's one of them. Okay, the second one is going to look a little different, but we're still going to do the same work. So look at the second one. They're going to give you a sub 1. They're going to give you a sub n. And they're going to give you n. Now these are a little bit easier than the ones we just did, because here they give me everything I need. Okay, s sub n is equal to n over 2 a sub 1 plus a sub n. That's my equation. Okay, now they gave me n. What is my n value? 15, so that's going to be 15 over 2. A sub 1 is 10, and a sub n is 150. So that's 15 over 2, and that comes out to 160. Now 160 divided by 2, that's 80. So that's 15 times 80. Okay, and let's see, 15 times 80, that's 1200. So this adds up to 1200. A lot easier. And the reason why this was a lot easier is because I didn't have to find a specific term. They gave me everything I needed to put into the equation, so there was no need for me to find something that was missing. Okay? So if you want, for part B, you could say no missing terms, and for part A, you can say missing terms. So you can be aware, like, oh, the reason why A took longer is because I didn't know my A sub n value. Here, they literally gave me A sub n. They said it's 150, right? And the other one, they didn't do that. So I had to figure it out. And again, the stuff in green is just scratch work, so you don't have to show that if you don't want to. You'll have a calculator if you need it. Are there any questions on the first or the second example we've done so far? I mean, I hope you guys have gotten used to this, because all the homework you guys have done is required this. So if you've done the first, the second, the third, and the fourth, you should be pretty much programmed to know how to do this by now. So hopefully you've gone through and done it. All right, finding the common difference. So I don't have to do anything other than finding the value of D. Okay, so there you go. I'm already putting it in a box. All I got to do is figure out what is the D value for this. So I go from 2 to negative 2, and then from negative 2 to negative 4, and then from negative 6, I'm sorry, from negative 2 to negative 6, and then from negative 6 to negative 10, what am I adding or subtracting by? Negative. By negative 4, right? 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. So my common difference is negative 4. Remember, if you want to make sure, just get your calculator and type in the following: negative 2 minus 2, right? You're subtracting this way. negative 6 minus a negative 2, that'd be negative 4. And then negative 10 minus a negative 6, that's a negative 4. Put that into your calculator just to make sure that they're all common. Remember, it's called the common difference. They should all be the same. Okay? So, there you go. There's only going to be one problem like that on your quiz, unfortunately. So, it's an easy one. So I figure that's why they're doing it. But there's only one like that. So, and it's actually going to be a little easier than this, I think. I made this one a little harder because I put negatives in it. All right. Find the 10th term if a sub 1 is 3 and d is equal to 4. So since you got to find a term, then you're going to use the term finder, right? You're going to use the formula that tells you this is what the term is. So this is the term finder formula. A sub n equal to a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. Now they said they want the 10th term. That means n equals 10. Okay, n equals 10. So I'm going to put that in. A sub 10 is equal to a sub 1, which is 3, plus d, which is 4, times n minus 1. Remember, n is 10, so that's 10 minus 1. So that's 3 plus 4 times 9. 3 plus 36. So the 10th term is 39. Also not a hard problem to do. You're just trying to figure out a specific term. That's all. The ones that take a little longer are the ones that want you to add stuff up. Those always take a little bit longer. Any questions on this one? All right, and then I got two more, and they're both like this. So these are the things we learned yesterday, right? The sums. That little weird symbol means add up, right? And when we add up, we're going to add up from, right? The sigma means the sum of the first to the sixth term. The first to the sixth term. Okay? So in order to do that, I got to figure out the first and the sixth term. Okay? So let's figure out our first and sixth term. So let me write the equation that I'm going to use to sum. So S sub n is equal to n over 2, a sub 1 plus a sub n. Okay? Now, how many terms am I going to add up? How many terms am I adding? 6, right? You always pick the top number if it starts with a 1 on the bottom. And this one does. N equals 1 to 6, right? So 6 is n. So I know that n is equal to 6. I just got to figure out my a sub 1 and my a sub n. So here's how we do a sub 1. We're going to plug in a 1 into our formula. 2 times 1 plus 1. This formula right here, okay? You're going to plug it in there. Well, 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3. That means my first term is 3. We already know that n equals 6. I'll put that up here. Okay? And then I just got to figure out the last term, a sub 6. So that'd be 2 times 6 plus 1. That's 13. Now I'm just going to plug in all of that information into my formula, and I'm done. Okay, so S sub 6 is 6 over 2 times 3 plus 13. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And this is 16. And 3 times 16 is 48. So here's your answer. The sum is 48. I think I told you guys yesterday, these problems are pretty easy if you know what you're supposed to do. Okay, if you know what to do, they're pretty simple. Figure out how many terms you got, what's your first term, what's your last term. That's all you got to do, the stuff in green. Once you got that, you plug it into your formula and solve. Okay, You can see how formulas have been super important for every problem except for the one that we had to just find the common difference, right? And there's only one of those. Everything else, we've been using formulas. So the reason why I make you do 2 of these is because remember how I told you guys yesterday when we went over the lesson, most of them start at 1 and then they go up to a number. But every once in a while, they don't start at 1. And these become a little bit more tricky. Still the same amount of work and everything, but you just have to think of it differently. Okay, so let me write down our formula that we're going to use. S sub n equals to n over 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. Okay, how many terms are here? And don't say 9, because a lot of times people just go for the top number. Yeah, there's 6. Because remember how I told you to solve it? You're going to subtract 9 minus 4. Okay, this number minus that number. That's 5. And then you add 1. You always add 1 to it. So 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. Or you can just use your fingers, right? So start at 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 terms. Okay. The reason why I'm not a big proponent of fingers, though, is because if it's going from 4 to 100, bless you, right? So from 4 to 100, you don't want to be like, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? Like, that's just ridiculous. So subtracting and adding 1 makes more sense, okay? All right. Now I got to figure out my first term, which my first term is not a sub 1. What's my first term? A sub 4, right? That's my first term because I'm starting from 4 to 9. So a sub 4, that'd be 3 times 4 minus 1. That's 11. Because that's 12 minus 1. My last term is a sub 9. 3 times 9 minus 1. That's 26. So that's 27 minus 1. So I have my air quotes first term, that's a sub 4, and my last term, that's a sub 9. So when I plug it into my formula, I'm going to put s sub 6 is 6 over 2. My first term, I know it's not a sub 1, it's a sub 4. So it's going to be 11 plus 26. Okay, again, if you're wondering why am I not using a sub 1, because I'm not supposed to. This starts at 4 to 9. So a sub 4 takes place of a sub 1 as my first term. Okay? So this is equal to 3. This is 37. Yep. And when you multiply that out, what do we get? 3 times 7 is 21. So 9 is 101. Am I right on that? Let's see, 37. 3 is 21, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 1. So that would be 111. And that's it. This is what's on your quiz.